Yeah.
I get dry mouth when I'm nervous. Right, put your phone down now. Get rid of it. Stop making your snorty noise as well.
Let's go.
I'm waiting on Harrison to say go.
5, 4, 3. Have we got one of them?
No, we need
Clicker
one.
board.
Was that it? Okay. Don't look at me. Not you anyway. Oh, don't start.
Listen, we
Wasn't
need...
me.
Don't start farting now. You'll put me right off.
Oh,
if I
come
stop
on.
midway.
Come on.
Right, ready?
Let's go.
Right, Carl, sit still because you're
What's the matter
noisy.
now?
I just need something to wipe my... Look how sweaty I am.
Right, it's because you're moving and you're stressing. Sit still. Stop moving. You'll be fine. Stop touching your hair. Just leave it. Okay?
Go.
Oh, you are sweating up a bit.
Am I?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
You are all
Pete.
when you...
Just give me the t-shirt
Right,
off David.
Oh,
He is.
Listen, why is everyone stressing? I'm never this stressed when I'm chilled.
are you?
Put your hood up and that.
The more you... If you fan, it makes it worse. When the hot
can you
hair...
manage to the windows open? I'm saying I'm boiling.
No, just come on.
I
Let's get on
can't.
with it.
I'm not having fun here at all.
It's not meant to be fun. It's meant to be informative. Right, once you got your headphones on, I'm going to go, alright, huh? What's going on, people? Oh, I started again. The laptop went off. What's going on, people? Welcome to the Central Club. This episode is brought to you by Re-Inspire Printing and CBD Cardiff. I'm back again today for another special edition here at the club. When I first interviewed... Oh, I hate this.
Hour and 35.
Shh, no, don't pressurise me. When I interviewed Cullen, it was the 52nd episode, which marked a year's worth of filming. But we're celebrating again today, as it's the year to date. Oh, you two stop looking at each other and giggling. You're throwing me right off. He's nodding when I'm talking. Stop it now.
Sorry, you're
Stay
doing
down.
really well.
I know, and you threw me off. They're giggling. They're giggling. But today, we're here celebrating... I've got to stop moving.
doing
I
well.
know, I'm getting thrown off by all the noise in the room. Right, last time, I'm not going to do it again. So everyone just stay still and don't sweat. I'm back again today, which can only mean another special edition here at the club. When I interview Cullen... Today, we're going to hear this story from a completely different perspective. And who better to hear it from than someone who's seen this addiction unfold, been there throughout his entire life and felt firsthand how parents suffer. His father. It's going to be raw, honest and emotional. So grab your snacks and your tissues and I just hope you enjoy it. Welcome on Peter and Cullen Mais.
Are you alright?
Welcome. Well, thanks for having me. Oh,
Dad, why are you so nervous? You never liked this.
No, we ain't going just say Pete and Cullen makes it, you know. The full thing. Oh, this is fucking low. Go on,
so welcome on Peter and Cullen Mais. Welcome.
Thanks for coming on again, Dad.
That's alright.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. You done really well last time. We thought we'd get you to do this one because I don't think I've done a good job really with my dad. I just... Obviously, there's things like I knew, you know, I wanted to get off my chest and probably he did, but I didn't know how to ask the questions, basically. So I thought maybe you could try it.
Nice middleman or lady.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pete, how does it feel looking at Cullen now?
Unbelievable. You know, just... You always hope you see the day. As we did for years and years and years, but you know, just to get there, it's unbelievable. You know, we take it day by day, as I'm sure he does. We do the same, but it's just there's no words at the moment.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
You crying already, Cole?
No, I don't. I never hear this. See, I hear them say well done and stuff like, but obviously, you don't know if you've made them happy or not because at the end of the day, like it's all self-inflicted. Like I look at it like it was all my own fault anyway, self-inflicted. So it's something that they shouldn't have to go through anyway, you know? So, but it's nice to hear.
Good. So Pete, when Cullen talks about his childhood, he says a lot how babyish she was, him running back to the house and stuff. Is that really what it was like?
Yeah, really like it. He, yeah, just never grew up.
What you
Ever.
mean?
No, he was, yeah, look, everything he said is true. You know, we'd run back every 5 minutes just to check we were still there, which didn't give us much time to leave, really. Otherwise we would have. No, but yeah, he wouldn't stay out. He'd come home, we'd make him an excuse, bad belly, bad head, whatever. But yeah, accident prone, massive accident prone, and
Still
just
is.
always home. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that'll ever change.
So when he was younger, looking back now, was his OCD traits obvious to you, or obvious now looking back?
Yeah, I mean, we took him to see people at quite a young age. But I think they ended up thinking we were beating him up anyway. So I think, do you remember they put you in a different room?
Yeah.
And they were asking, do your mum and dad hit you and whatever? And we're like, you know.
Where was that to? That was like, there was a place down by Thompson's Park. Where,
yeah.
What's it called?
Presswilfer House. So
Yeah.
we've just said, look, literally, if you had the size of Pontcanna Fields or whatever, Lander Fields, if someone put a glass of water in there anywhere, he would find it and knock it over. It was just unbelievable. You couldn't write it. And
What,
yeah.
but did I go in there with marks or something? Why would they think that you was...
I think it was when you pulled your elbow out when you were sat on your hand and moved.
Yeah.
And your elbow
Teddy
came out
bear
and then
roll.
it kept going. Yeah. And then it kept going, and then we were worried about it. And then, like I say, we just wanted to check, is he okay? Or, that sounds horrible, is he okay? But, you know, has he got anything that potentially is, you know, what's causing what? And he just sort of took him into another room.
My mum like that.
And then when he came out, he said to us, when he came out, he was like, oh, they asked me, do you beat me? Do they feed me? And we're like...
I bet he was like, yes, they don't feed me.
If I'd known, I'd have made him keep him, but we didn't know. But no, so yeah, you know, there were certain things early on, and then sort of as it got a bit, you know, probably around 13, 14, 15, like you said, playing baseball, stuff like that, you just see him biting a ball or biting a bat, and he's just like touching everything, twirling round, just like, wow, you know. And then later on, like I said, he's just an absolute nightmare. You know, if he had an appointment at 9 o'clock, he'd be late. If it was 11, he could get up at 3 a.m. But it's that last half hour with rituals and doing whatever and just back in, back out, turn this off, turn it on, do it 20 times, fuse in the house, just everything, you know. It was, it did get gradually worse. Still not great, I don't think. I mean, what's it like now? He's over with you.
Well, he's still, if he walks through a door frame, he's like that, like a spider, touching everything around it, the light switch.
Yeah.
And then he'll come back on himself, and you could be behind him, he just barge you, he's like, I gotta touch it.
Yeah.
So, like, he still touches everything and does his twirlies.
Yeah.
It sounds ridiculous, I does twirlies, but no, it's like, I try and do them subtly, like, but I do like a right angles 180.
Or you'll pretend you're looking at something and then spit. I never
don't
noticed
even,
it.
Yeah. It was only did I tell you about it?
You had to tell me. Oh, I think once you went around not a lamppost, but those signs, and I was like, what are you doing? You were like, oh, we've got to. Okay.
Yeah, so
weird.
so you still got it.
Yeah, no, it's just one of them things. Like I don't even think like prescribed drugs could help with it. You know, because every time I've gone to a doctor and they've, you know, the classic antidepressants like sertraline, citalopram, they've always said like these are to tackle anxiety, which will hopefully tackle you not wanting to do them things. There's nothing to tackle OCD, basically. It's all to tackle the anxiety around it for you to stop doing these things. But it's never worked.
I think people who are on them drugs, though, would just nullify that, and they're just numbed out. You know, again, if it's a stat, just a way of saying it makes it better, it doesn't make them better. It's just, you know, people I know that are on that are just walk around like zombies, which is no good. Well, it is, I suppose, if it stops one thing, but it makes other things a lot worse.
Yeah, I definitely think there's people out there that it works for, you know. Like, we talk all the time about how bad methadone was, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But you know, I bet there is a percentage of people out there that methadone has genuinely stopped them taking heroin. There probably is a percentage out there of people who are actually not taking heroin.
Yeah, if they wanted to come off it, probably, yeah. You know, but the amount of people who go on it as just an extra boost, as a free hit, it's not going to help. So why give someone something that, you know, allows you to take on? I just don't understand that part of it, you know. This people queue up, they have it. Well, I do understand because it's a free boost for them, but if you want to get off it, like I said, you know, you went on to Buvidal, but I think you were ready at that time as well. So it's kind of everything sort of aligned at that time to, you know, to come into being.
Yeah.
If, you know, you could take anything in the world if you're not ready, you're not ready.
Yeah.
It's as simple, and that's not just drugs, that's anything. You know, if you're not ready to do it, you're not going to change.
Yeah, I could sit here and say that the Buvidal changed my life, but then it only helps with opiates. But remember, I was still drinking every day. I was still smoking crack every day. I was still taking Xanax, whatever I could. So it was, I think if you've got to meet you halfway. You've got to be ready as well as working whatever type of medication or, you know, way of getting off drugs is. You've got to meet them both halfway.
Yeah,
Definitely. Okay, so you're obviously really in tune with him, both you and Sam, and he was always around you because he wouldn't go anywhere. So in terms of when he was growing up, when did you notice something, if you did, something wasn't quite right or something was changing in terms of when he started drugs?
I don't know. Again, his mum knows she's on point. Do you know what I mean? I think we went away to Turkey and come back.
Yeah, I have a timeline of things, but it seems like you and Mum have a different. Maybe I like in my eyes, you found out then. But did you guys know before and just didn't say anything? Maybe or
no, it was, you know, look, how can I put it? I've never been in tune with drugs, really. All right, you know, we have, but ourselves, no. So, you know, I wouldn't. At the time, I never knew what this was. This was, as a lot of parents, you know, were in the same boat, especially older ones. Not, I don't mean myself, but some are older, you know, because the people out there who are 50 and 60 taking their parents at 70, 80, they're probably still with them. Do you know what I mean? And it's, it's like, you know, if you don't, I wouldn't say it wasn't that we weren't looking for it, because we weren't looking for it. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is. You know, you were our eldest, so we didn't know what was coming around the corner on any turn. We didn't expect anything like that. Do you know what I mean? But the fact it was, but I can't even think back to really, you know, I'm sure it was we came back from Turkey, and I'm not even sure what happened then, but I remember your mother screaming and shouting and coming in, and then it sort of, you know, spiraled from there. Because I think we were on meth before that. But again, it was just, the doctor prescribed something, you know, and it is, look, let's not kid about the bush either. People who are on drugs or drink or whatever it is, any addiction, are masters at masking. Do you know what I mean? So no matter what it is, you're trying to cover your tracks one way or another. So unless we're looking, we're not going to find it. It could have been glaringly obvious for other people outside, but the fact that no one had come up to us and said, "Bang, this is that." Not that that's what we want. You know, we would. It's not what we wanted to hear or would have wanted to hear. But yeah, we've probably got people saying, "Oh yeah, you know, you were out here. You would look. I'm not stupid. I knew where you were." You know, from the age of whatever it was, 15, 16, when you were hanging there, and I said, "You look." People are in there. If they've got flats at 15 and 16, they've got it because they've got problems somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
You know? Look, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's just...
Yeah, the places I was hanging around were clearly places that, like, people with problems got, and, you know, it's rife for drugs and stuff. But, yeah, I do remember you would tell me, but I just think you probably, like, at that time anyway, you would never think I'd have done what I'd done. I never thought it.
Were you worried constantly about your parents finding out?
Yeah, I was always kind of, you know, it was only a year before, I was still spraying myself with fucking deodorant because I smelled weed. So, you know, when I'm taking heroin, it's something else, isn't it?
So can you remember, Pete, when you first confronted him?
I think it was then, that time coming back from
Holiday.
Turkey, wasn't it, when we came back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was then. I don't even think you admitted it then, but we sort of become more sort of on point and then tried to get in contact with, I forget the name of the
Services,
place.
was it?
Yeah, services, you know, which again is another matter, but, you know, they're not interested in parents knowing, or, you know, yeah, they're just not interested. And I understand you got data protection and, you know, this and that, but, you know, if there's people who are willing to help and do things, then they need to work with those people to put it in place, because, you know, your services are telling you one thing, they're coming home saying another thing. Who are we to know what they've said if they're not going to speak to us? Do you know what I mean? So it's, you know, it doesn't help. But then I understand is probably 90% of people out there have got no one.
Yeah, I was going to say.
To say that I help them, but, you know, to be there for them, kind of thing. So
At them times, especially, obviously, I working in services now. I think there is change happening, but at the time, especially, they'd look at my dad like he was a fucking alien. My mum and dad, they went to appointments, like they're not used to having, like, in that service where you know, is dealing with class A's, you know, and people with volatile, you know, backgrounds. They're not used to having, you know, family members inquiring about them and what's this and what's that, because we're all fully grown adults and a lot of them haven't got a family because they're just vulnerable people. So, but I think, you know, I think it is slowly getting better in services, and I'm trying to make it as, you know, raise as much awareness about it myself, and even my dad. Like sometimes we'll talk about things and what do you think we could do here, and there's only so much we can do because obviously we don't run services. But yeah, I you know, I used to look, and it was an opportunity for me at that time to run circles around them via services. I would run circles around them via services, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Where, you know, there'd be points that when I was on drugs, you'd give me the ultimatum of you do this or you're out of the house. And I think the one time it would be like, as long as you give clean drug tests. Well, I'd fucking run circles around them, like, because I knew how to blag the test, or, you know, you'd have to give consent if you wanted, like, a family member to be involved. And sometimes they'd ring up and they'd be like, yeah, he's giving consent. And then the next week I'd have a relapse and I'd say, listen, I don't want my family knowing anything. And he'd try ringing up and then they say no. And, you know, it's just mad. It's mad, like, but for me, it was quite easy at them times to manipulate and make them think I was doing well. Because that's what some people could do. They could just, yeah, I'm clean. I've been on meth for a year and I haven't touched it. I've been giving clean drug tests every week, but how do they know?
Yeah. I think you'd be surprised as well, because I've worked in services with young people, and we're talking children 13, 14, and their parents aren't heavily involved, because a part of the services kind of policy is to give the right of privacy, unless obviously there's a massive safeguarding issue. But I was going to touch on it later, but since you're talking about it now, so do you think the way forward with services, Pete, is to have like a designated person, or just to involve family more?
Look, again, you can have a designated person if, you know, if that, how can I put it, like, you know, we were there for him. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I understand there's a lot of people who may not have anyone, or it might be the wrong person for them. Do you know what I mean? It's but I think somewhere along the line, you know, I'm not saying you'd have come off it at that time, because you probably wouldn't have, and it would have just been more loggerheads for longer, you know. But it's they definitely need to look at something. I mean, like you said, you know, to blag a piss test and that. Well, if you do, everybody do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if that's common knowledge, why even bother with these tests if everyone's doing it? Surely the people in there know what's going on.
Well, no, do you
know what I mean? It's you know,
kind of at the time the tests were mouth swabs, but as long as you had, like, I think it was like
7 of them,
lemon, like Sif and stuff, or you had, like, you know, if you had drinks in your mouth, certain fluids would block them out. Obviously with the urine ones now, they're a bit tougher, but yeah, you know, just if you was going, you knew you was going every time you go in to get your meth, they'd give you a drug test. You knew just to have something in your mouth, you know.
Yeah, but like I say, yeah, I think somewhere along the line, if you know, if the person gives consent, then yeah, I understand a lot of them are not going to because they just want to run feral and do what they do. Do you know what I mean? It's yeah.
Yeah, but you know, in youth service, it's fair enough when they're trying to like, you know, give someone responsibility and, you know, trying to get them on their own 2 feet. But a lot of these people are vulnerable. So I think they need support. You know, you said in youth services, yeah, they try, you know, to give them that responsibility. But we're talking about people who are crying out for help, who've got no one, you know?
One of the things I remember, back in the day when you go there and you speak to people, like I'd speak to loads of, the users who were there, and
Fucking love my dad.
No, but they were brilliant. Honestly, they were such nice people, and like you said, they're just stuck in a rut. They're just stuck. They how'd you get out? And then when they say I'm ready to come off, it'd be like, oh, we can't do that for 3 weeks. And then, this is what they were saying to me. Oh, no one can see me till this time or that time. Listen, if you're ready to come off today, there needs to be something that's going to help someone to come off today, because come tomorrow,
he's got paid.
He's either got paid or he's gone somewhere, or this have happened, and just whatever's happened is gone. You know, if they have that change of heart there and then, look, I'm not saying it's going to work 100% of the time. It might, but if you can get 1% of it, it's worked somewhere. You know, but it just, I don't know. I didn't have a good. I say I didn't. I've never been in services, but running through it is. Yeah, we were at loggerheads more than anything. They just wanted to stop people, ban them for this, ban them for that. You're off this, you're off that script. These people are vulnerable. They don't know what time it is. They don't know what day it is. They just need massive help. And half of them, the people who haven't got homes, like they're coming out.
Yeah.
To do what? To sit back under somewhere? Yeah. Look, if you ask me, everything's wrong.
And you're talking to us now, and like myself, who had a family, had a roof to go home to, and for the majority of the time, these have got fuck all. So what hope have some of these got?
Yeah,
and
if it masks what they're doing, if they're sat in a tent somewhere or just cardboard, whatever, then they're going to carry on, aren't they?
You don't want to be on
reality
and just facing reality when you.
So, but yeah, it's. I think it may have changed a lot since when we were involved. So, when I say we were involved, I wasn't involved, but, sort of look on the outside looking in, it may well have changed a hell of a lot. So.
Well, that's it here. The outside looking in. You was never allowed to really see what was going on. Like, you never, maybe you want to tell her now about the meeting we had. Fucking crazy.
Well, it was on West
St.
Mary Street. So it's rammed anyway, right across from Howell's. There was it Dip? Was it?
This was the old dispense place. So now it's where it is now is on Harlett Court. It's by the Motorpoint Arena. So it's still main roads. There are a lot of people there's traffic lights here. So a lot of people on the buses and people driving on lookout, and it's just loads of service users outside waiting. Back then it was St. Mary Street, and that's where people used to go to get their methadone, their Subutex, their appointments and stuff. Right across from Howell's, especially Christmas time.
Rammed out. And it was Christmas. It was, I think, a week before Christmas. And we said, look, we need to come in to speak, to find out what's going on. When we got there, they wouldn't let us in. We were just like, well, we've made the appointment. We've taken time off work, both of us. We both, gone in there. Or your mum had just finished work. So it was about 5 o'clock, about 4:30, 5 o'clock, dark. But a Christmas week, so you can imagine, it's absolutely rammed. People, Christmas shopping, going up and down St. Mary Street.
No, what it was. So I had an appointment, but my mum and dad would for weeks were trying to get hold of him to speak to my key worker. So they came, we were out shopping the one time, and I had an appointment. So what they were trying to do was get 2 minutes, 5-minute meeting with my dad, 10-minute meeting with my dad, so they'd be able to, we can have a word with them. So I've just finished my meeting with them. I said, look, my mum and dad are outside. Can they please come in? They just want to have 5-10 minutes with you. If we can, even if that means we got to stop this meeting 5-10 minutes early, just so they can have a chat. Yeah. That's fine. Goes downstairs.
And he wouldn't let us in. So
he's like, come over here.
Yes, the man came out we walked across the road and I'm in a bus stop right outside Howells, and there's like,
The abortion thing next to us.
yeah, there's some rally going on next there. Christmas songs go in. We stood in a bus stop, and he's trying to talk to us and have a meeting with us. And I just looked at him and said,
Pen and pad, like.
"You can't even be real. You think I'm going to stand here in a bus stop and talk, when there's an office there?" And he just went, "Oh, okay, no problem." And off he went. I went, "Oh, off you go." And that was it. And that was our real introduction to what it was. And it didn't get much better, all the way along. Like I say, there's, yeah.
So you must have felt like you were just fighting a losing battle all the time.
Yeah, look, we weren't called in there to cause trouble. We were there to try and rectify things. So if they can recognise that, then there's something wrong somewhere. You know what I mean? If someone calls there once and they never come back again, but, we were there, I don't know how many times, or we'd ring up, or I'd ring up, but, if they can find out when someone actually wants to help someone, then there's something wrong somewhere. You know what I mean? And you might have protocols here, there, whatever. Something needs to be done. If there's someone there who's willing to help and willing to give their time, it is what it is. And to me, that's where they need to change and put things in place.
Definitely. So this must have practically been like a full-time job for you and Sam, constantly worrying about CULLAN and.
Well, Sam works, obviously she's a teacher, so she's away. But for myself, every day, if I didn't take him to get his meth at whatever time it was between this time and that time. So I'd go to work, I'd have to pop back, he'd just be spaced out or whatever, it's get ready to take hours, whatever. By the time I've got him in and got him out, if there was a day I'd say, look, I can't make it today, I'm away, I'm up country or wherever I am, he wouldn't get there. You know what I mean? And that's him. So if he's like that, then everyone's like that. Do you know what I mean? If they've got whatever drugs they've got, they've taken their drugs, they're out of it for however long. They wake up and they miss it. But then once they miss it for 1 day or 2 days or whatever it was, I think it was 3 times, wasn't it, or something?
3 days.
If you miss it for 3 days, you struck off, and so then they struck off. But then you've got to go and score because you haven't got your meth, and it's just.
And then wait a week or two to go back on it, and it's like.
I mean, we've literally got there at times when it was, say, he was shutting at 12:30.
We've been on the phone. We were in traffic on the phone saying, "Look."
One time we got there and it said 2 o'clock. No, I think it was 3 o'clock. When we got there, it was shut, and we're like, "What's going on?" And he said,
12 o'clock.
Didn't you read? There was a letter on the wall. Oh, what person who's flat out on whatever they're on, going in there? Some of them can read, some of them can write. The others are not going to read a little thing saying closing at 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock.
Or what they'll do is they'll have the times like 10 till 9 till 12, 1 till 4, but in small tiny brackets underneath it'll say 9 till 12 methadone and Subutex, 1 till 4 just Subutex. So the guy who's going to get his meth at 2, who haven't seen that, is just thinking it's open and they won't give it to him.
And I've been there as well when we've got there, and it's literally just coming up to 12 o'clock, and there's other people there, and the queue's so big, and they say, "Oh, we're not taking anyone on." They've had to shoot off them. Worst. And then these people in that hour, some of them either got arrested for shoplifting or found whoever they found, and they've gone and taken this, and they're not coming back. And you're just like, they shouldn't have a dinner. Work split shifts, stay open from that time to that time. And even if there's a place till 8, and it's
in Newport they stay open till 7 on a Monday, I think. Brilliant, like.
Don't get me wrong. If they stay open till 7, people will abuse it till 7:30.
Yeah,
they'll abuse. But
no, but that's the worst one. Is when it's 12 o'clock. A load of them got there at 11:50. Someone gets it at 11:59, 12. They lock the door, but there's like 10 other people in there waiting for their meth as well. And he's just looking for the door, but because he didn't make it at that time, you're gone. It's like, fucking hell, mate.
So you could.
And people are on their second day. They've missed their second day. They're ready to, if they miss this one at 11:59, they kicked off their script and got to start all over again. And they're literally closing the door on people. Sorry, 11:59. There's no like discretion. We like get in. None of that.
There's no, and like I say, you don't go to Tesco's and they say, "Oh, we're shutting for dinner." Overlap. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do to put it right.
Let's go.
Freedom. Freedom. What?
I need you. Maybe I'm falling for you. Maybe I'm falling for. Maybe I'm falling for you.
The
It
problem
can't be
is it
that.
becomes systematic then, don't they? Because in their head they think, right, if we let 1 in a 12, we gotta let 10. So it becomes,
Yeah, but
they
don't
just
shut.
become like
Yeah,
numbers.
what he's
Do you
saying is don't shut.
No,
Well,
I
I'm saying
know.
if you've got 5 people there, then you take
Yeah.
your, you have your half hour, then you have yours, then you have the, and an overlap. So there's always
Yeah.
people, 2 or 3 people there at one side.
Yeah.
It's, you know,
I think the sad reality is, you know, drug users is another the priority of, you know, we had Mark Drakeford on and we were talking about injecting, and he's like a dinosaur
He
to it.
passed it off as well,
He's
didn't
like
he?
he's just
As
like,
in he said, that's not my area.
yeah,
of-
it's like these people are dinosaurs. You know, some of the people I speak to who are they just haven't got a clue, and it's like, you know, at the end of the day, we're the, you know,
yeah, but
bottom
then
of the battle.
what I don't understand is because you can go to, you know, whatever the places are and they'll give you a pack for your needles if you are injecting. So they give you that, but you've got nowhere to put it. So people are moaning, yeah, it's in the park, it's here, it's there. Where are they going to go? Where are they going to, you know, I don't condone it in any way, shape or form. But if they've got a place that's safe, you know, you go to Portugal, it's fully legalised, it's looked after. So the people that come in are not abusing it, they know what they do that, thank you very much, off they go. Nobody sees it on the street. It's completely, you just don't see it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas here, you go to town now and it's just a massive problem. And it's not just here, obviously, it's all of Britain. But I don't know. I don't know what they can do to make it better.
To me, it just seems like it's the westernised places that are like it. You know, America, Britain. Like, I don't see, well, maybe there is in Asia and stuff, but I don't know. It just seems like this epidemic of opiates and other drugs, you know, crack cocaine, spice, cocaine, you know, it's always here. Like Di Bish said, you know.
Yeah. Well, you've had so much experience with it now, and you've just said, obviously, before you found out about Cullen, you had no clue about drugs, probably didn't know any of the paraphernalia or anything. And now you've had so much experience. So once you found out and it was bad, like you said, you had to take him for his meth and you were always worrying about it. How did that affect you personally? Because it must have been like one day you're just living your life normal. You've got your 2 kids, you're working, and now it's like you're constantly worrying about Cullen.
Yeah, of course. You know, I mean, you know, the times when he's not in, you're just constantly, you just think bad. Do you know what I mean? There's just no 2 doubts about it. I mean, we'd be there, your mum would just be completely at the wit's end. You know, you could be, you know, she'd have work, she'd be up for whatever, 6:30 in the morning to go to work, and, you know, she'd be lying there awake at 12, 1 o'clock and just say, come on, we've got to go and find him. And literally we'd be driving around town, the docks, just all the areas, you know, where this sort of, or we knew was renowned, you know, and you might find him, drag him in the car, come home, at least you can sleep. Do you know what I mean? That was the only time, if the door actually shut, you'd hear the door, you know, go bang, shut, lock, then you can go, oh, okay. You know, but apart from that, you know, yeah, for years it was kind of, until then, you're just worrying, panicking. We go out, you know, it's always on your mind. Do you know what I mean? You're just expecting a call, especially later on. It got really, really bad. You know, when it was just, one way or another, it's either you can have a call that something's happened there, or potentially being killed for whatever. That's how it was, you know, and that was your daily way of thinking, really. It's just, you know, you'd speak to him and just go straight through, and that was it. You know, it seems now really distant. Do you know what I mean? To where we are now to then, it's like it just seems.
Yeah, and if we were speaking this probably just when I got clean, or if we were in I was still in addiction, you'd be. I can't imagine how you'd be, because
No, look, I mean, don't get me wrong. There were stages. It was that bad, right? You know, so he can't go out. I've said, look, I'll break his legs. Do you know what I mean? And that's not being nasty or, you know, this or that. It's, if I break him, he can't get out. So then he can't have the drugs, and he's there. I'll break him. You know, it got that bad. It was kind of, there were times when I, you know, literally, or if I'll kill him rather than someone else kill him, I'll do it. And it's kind of it's done with love rather than someone, whatever, or the drug killing you, you know.
Well, you're a protector, aren't you? As a father, you're there, so you must be thinking, I'm here to protect him, you know. So you probably would have done anything to keep him in and safe.
I remember I had a good chat with someone who knows CULLAN really well, and he said to me, "Look, because I took him away. We've gone away for a week here, a week there, 2 weeks here, just to get him away from here." And he said, "Listen, you can take him away, but he's got to learn to swim. It's like, you know, if you can't swim and someone takes you out the swimming pool, the moment you jump back in that pool, which is back to Cardiff and back to his surroundings, you're back in doing what you're doing. So you know, if you, in hindsight, if you take someone out of a swimming pool, the moment they jump back in, they're going to drown." Well, that's what he kept doing, you know, and we didn't see it as that. We just thought, right, get him away, get him sorted, it'll be sorted. Get him away, he'll be sorted. And literally, I don't know how many times you know, did a cluck, or, you know, we went away and you know, tried whatever we tried, and, you know, but it was literally, you know, when you sort of speak to people who are I wouldn't say been around it, because he hadn't been around it, but he'd been around people who've been around it, and there's just little bits of wisdom along the way, and you start thinking different ways, you know. And then it was one day we were out, and there was another couple of our friends who were going through the same thing, with one of their lads, and they said, "Look, you worry sick. You can spend your whole weekend worrying sick, your whole week, until you actually get that call. That's when you worry." Do you know what I mean? And we're like, "Oh yeah, I get that now." Kind of, you know, why worry until you get the call? Because what we think he's doing, and what he's actually doing, he's probably just walking through town, and we think he's shacked up somewhere here, there. And don't get me wrong, there's times when he was, but, you know, 24/7, we're just thinking the bad part of it, and not the times when he probably was all right. Do you know what I mean? But then, like I say, towards the end, it was off the scale that we you know, shoplifting to fund it, and it all became probably too easy for you, you know. And then,
well, it was a few dodgy ones, like where we were like getting like proper chased now, like off the police, and now we like had no insurance, we were wanted, and like we were crashing into cars and like driving off and stuff. It was just fucking dangerous, like, do you know what I mean? And even to where like the places I were, like, you know, and how many times have I been somewhere and I was the last person and someone's then passed away, or fucking just left and someone's been stabbed, and, you know,
unfortunately,
it's just fucking mad.
That's the game it is.
Yeah, and you don't realise until you look out and think, fucking hell, how close was I to being that person? You know, every other day I'd come back and tell you something happened.
Or someone's passed away. Especially now as well. It's like the last
week.
Couple of, you know, there were 2 people last week and one the week before. And it's just like you're getting to the ages where you've all been on it for that long. I'm not saying you've been on it, that you've been doing something for that long, because it's not always the same thing. But bodies are giving out, you know, or things are happening to people. It's, you know, when you just got to think, you know, you kind of, at this stage, you got lucky.
Yeah.
You know?
So going back to what your dad just said then, you know, feeling that desperate, he was like, I'll just break his legs or kill him myself. How does that make you feel?
Well, yeah, you understand now, like, but yeah, he must have been really desperate. I remember the times he'd say it, and I'd be like, "You're a fucking nutter. What are you on about? Break my legs?" But like, you understand now. Do you know what I mean? And I think I always kind of understood the logic behind it. Was I upset? Yeah.
But your need was probably greater at that time.
Of course, yeah.
And Pete, you just mentioned then about his shoplifting. So did you know how bad it was?
Yeah.
When he was in his height, yeah.
Yeah.
Did he used to bring you stuff every day? And
for us, we can laugh now. But the worst thing is when you're actually opening Christmas presents and you know you're on your third iron and your third And you're just like, mate, we don't need this. Do you know what I mean? It's not what we want. It's we just want you to be sorted. And you know,
I used to bring some shit on.
you know, when you're just like,
What was that? The stuff you couldn't sell, the irons? Because they say about irons all the time.
I didn't have loads of irons.
You said
So
yourself,
you-
you're like, ring
Fuck-
my mum. She got
Listen.
loads of irons.
There's a few Russell Hobbs at the house, you know, 1 or 2.
yeah, but you know, it's look, yeah, we knew. What can you do? I'd go to work. We can't be with them 24/7.
And listen, no, let me just say, right, because like it is hard, and you know when everyone loves a bargain. Let's not lie. Like everyone loves a bargain, and you know it was getting to the stage where everyone like. I was taking drugs, and some people will come up to me now and they'll be like, I feel so guilty that I buy the stuff off you because I feel like I was enabling you. But, you know, it is what it is. And it was, you know, everyone, like even to my mum's mates and my dad's mates, I'd sell them stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? And that was my way, in a way, of being
Don't name
accepted.
anyone.
What?
Don't name anyone.
Yeah.
No. But in a way, that was my way of being accepted back into like communities and that. Like, I get phone calls like every other day of people. Oh, can you get me this call? What's happening? Can you get me? And I class that as like, you know, being back in the, like me shoplifting, like was back into the community. I can still be a heroin addict, but as long as I get goods for my old mate, it's just weird. Like, do you know what I mean?
No, I
But-
can see that logic though, because if people are ringing you, you're like, oh, they're okay with me. Like, it's not like you're outcasted.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if they're not ringing, they look. If you go to that person and they don't want it, the
Someone
next
else is
person
good.
wants it,
Yeah.
the next person wants it.
I loved
It's,
it.
you know, it is just madness. Do you know what I mean? It is just
But yeah.
crazy.
Obviously, you've had a lot of dark times with him, but I can imagine in amongst all them, there's just all the little wind-up things he does. Like your mum was saying about a time you drove him round before work or something.
Oh my god.
Oh, you can say
You-
it.
On a Sunday, you always start at 11 o'clock in this one. Well, it was, you know, you worked full time, whatever.
Admit it, I always worked.
No,
Admit that I always worked.
you never, mate.
Oh, mate.
You were like Father Christmas, mate. You only worked like
Christmas
December,
temps.
yeah.
Fuck off.
Telling
Listen,
you.
all my kitchen jobs were in Christmas temps. My warehouse jobs were in Christmas temps.
Whatever.
The Reaver trains.
So
I'll say that
his
one.
brother had a rugby tournament up in, I think it was Abergavenny or Monmouth or something. So we had to get someone to come over to pick him up, to take him up there, because we again, I mean, this is how babyish. Don't get me wrong, we're as sad for taking him. Do you know what I mean? It's you know. So he 11 o'clock all the time. He started at 11 o'clock. So Brad had to be up at I think it was Abergavenny at whatever 9:30 or 10. So we got someone to come down, pick him up. He's taking him out. We were going to go up after and get up late. So I can't remember. We've dropped him somewhere anyway. We've gone then. We're thinking, am I going to kill an hour now? Because you know, I can't drop him until 11:15. Sad, like he could have sat on a wall outside or whatever. Can't drop him until
Not me.
11:15. What are we going to do? So we took down, got him some breakfast, done this, just drove here, did whatever, drove round for a bit, and then as I'm turning back and we're going towards a place, he said, "What should I tell him in work?" So I'm sort of looking at him and I goes, "What do you mean, what should I tell him in work?" He goes, "Well, what should I tell him?" And I goes, "Well, what for?" He goes, "Well, I'm an hour late." I said, "What do you mean? You don't start at 11?" He goes, "Oh no, it's 10 o'clock today." And I'm just looking, thinking, fucking, this cannot be real. Do you know what I mean? But he's oblivious to what he's just done. And I'm just like, I don't know, just, yeah, there's a lot that's gone on in between, but
Nah, there's been laughters. I think there's just, when you're in it, you just got to find a way to get along with it. I think, do you think there was parts that it must have been, like, was there times where you didn't ever think I'd ever get off it?
yeah, of course, yeah, massively. You know, the only way you were coming off it was
death or...
ODing and potential death or being killed by you know, what when I say someone out there because of just why you're in. You know, these trap houses, these places you're in. So it's either that or that. That's why I say we would just wait for a call. That's kind of the point it got to. And I'm sure other people, you know, who are in our boat feel the same way.
So, you know, well, maybe not because you knew, but you know, like the times like the police, if I rang from a police station or the prisons, did you know that was the prisons, or would you one time maybe have an unknown number and think this could be it?
It's always 9 times out of 10, if it's an unknown number, we knew it was the police, especially if you were out and hadn't come home. You know, it was kind of. Well, look, I get calls anyway that might come in off unknown, so it wasn't anything really new. But if they rang and they just say, hello, yeah, I've got Cullen, it was a relief. For us, it's a relief. You know what I mean? You're in a cell, so number one, you're not having drugs. Number two, you're sat in a cell, so you're not running feral. And number three, we can just go. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's there's no two doubts about it. And I'm sure other people feel the same. When their lads are in prison, or potentially daughters, it's kind of, you know where they are, you know what they're up to. Well, we don't know fully what they're up to, but you know it's that kind of, they're not, you know, around.
You're not smoking all the drugs in the world.
Yeah, or just getting in trouble, general trouble.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're in there, and look, we've done it. When I go on holiday, you know, I'd much rather it when you were inside than when you were out, because I knew when I was coming back, we didn't know what we were coming back to. So
what is from me, the relationship with police, like how many, like they always used to come to the house, didn't they, and all that. Like
I'd be sat in the room and
feel?
I'd have people looking through my back window and like you don't even know they are, but you have a good guess because the way they dress and whatever. Yeah, and they'd just be like, well, we're going to keep coming back until he is here, or do you know where he is?
Well, they used to actually go around the back of the house.
Well, he'd go around the back and then down the side of the thing. So if you were going to run out the back or...
Someone,
you know,
yeah.
It was just, you know...
No, but I've had phone calls where like there's been like late at the night and like they've been in the house looking.
Yeah, listen, I've been sat watching the telly and the door just opens and I just say to them, just walk in. Do you know what I mean? It was so-and-so and so-and-so, and they wouldn't even knock. Or they just give a tap, open the door, and walk in and go, oh, yeah, there's someone, I can't even think of the names of the one or two. But they just come in and I just say, yeah, well, now. And they just tell me, and I'll say, look, if he's here, want to have a look, he's not here, or whatever. It's,
God, knowing your mum, she must have been just anxiety through the roof peak, not through the floor.
The amount of time, it was probably 2-3 times a week minimum that the police would come. Especially if you were wanted, they come in the morning, they come in the afternoon, they come in the morning, they come in the afternoon, and you know.
I remember the one time. Remember the one time when they came, and it was for Bradley, not me. I was fucking buzzing. I was like,
yeah, but it wasn't even.
No. You did you answer the window?
No,
you haven't done nothing, was it?
Oh
no, we're not living together. We live with Bradley.
Yeah, I goes, what's he done now? He goes, oh, nothing. He goes, he's not. I miss his brother. I was like, what? But then
he came in. I went, all right, what's happening, guys? I was sat on my bed.
Walking around a pair of boxes like that.
Yeah, I'm saying, not in that room, mate. That's my room. And they were like,
yeah, but when he went in, then that one copper said, I'm arresting him. I said, well, what for? He goes, he knows what he's done. He knows what he's done. And he was lying in bed, Brad. He goes, get up, put your clothes on. I'm like, well, what? What have he done? And if you remember, he ran through and it was a wrong Bradley Mace. It was.
Shut up.
Yeah, well, I know the other one.
Look at Cullen's face. Don't defend him.
Yeah. There was there is one from Lanishon who I knew who was on the course that we were on. But it was him they were after, but he just thought he'd stumbled across this one. And he acted all... I just said, mate, get out. So he come in, and it wasn't even the right one.
No, there's been some horrible officers. Like even when I come
good
back.
ones when they come in. That when I say good, you know, they've been
they just know
respectful to you.
Yeah, they've just been civil. They're like, I'm really sorry, and you know, we understand. Others, they understand. They realise they just don't give a shit. You know, but look, that's their job.
And I've had it where like they've come for Anthony.
They always used to come in here for him, and now my dad's. They go to my dad's, and he's not there, and you're just like,
yeah. I think they target houses even knowing they're not there, just for them to kind of
do something.
It's like holding someone hostage, isn't it? Like a family member hostage.
Did you ever feel then, obviously just put you through the mill, did you ever just feel defeated and just think, I'm giving up, I'm cutting him off?
I felt like I've probably been, like we've had moments where, you know, probably like, don't fucking ring me, and I...
No, but I mean really like sit down and think, I can't do this anymore. I got to cut him off.
Yeah, probably had loads of them. Do you know what I mean? And if I haven't, Sam have, it's... Yeah, of course we have. But then you just kind of, you know, you're in that position. It's your son. You do what you got to do. Do you know what I mean? You just hope. I suppose you can you just do what you can do. You know, the easiest thing is to just throw someone out in the street. Do you know what I mean? And then you see that with you know, a lot of them who are out there, they've got no one, they got nothing. They've got potentially, you can see why the numbers are so high that people don't come off the drug or a drug or drink if they've got no one and they're in that position. Because what have they got? Do you know what I mean? It's, you know, yeah. I mean, we used to come here, used to work for us here, and we'd just be fighting all day. Yeah. Literally, just fighting. And then, you know, I'd go home and I'd say to Sam, listen, I can't have him in work because I've got him all day, then I got him all night. I got him all day, and, you know, and in that kind of situation, it's just so much. And it was just like, you know, I'd rather pay him to stay home. Do you know what I mean? It's like literally don't come to work, just, or I creep out the door in the morning. You know, when you go, I'll be there now, and I'd be like, start the engine, creeping off down the road to get away. Just so, I'm not coming back now. I'm not coming back now. You know, but yeah, look, loads of times you feel like you're going to give up, and
there was times where he, like, you know, take me to school. You know, like there was times where, like, you know,
was that more towards the end?
Look, if it's stupid o'clock at whatever, and again, it's not right, it's not wrong. But I'm sure there are other people who are in the same boat as me. If he's going to jump on a bus in from our way into town, walk all the way down through the docks or through whatever it might be over to some part of you or here or there, the people, you don't know if they're going to come back. You don't know if they're going to come back. Do you know what I mean? So the easiest thing is just get in, get what you got to get, jump in, get on, go and do what you got to do. Do you know what I mean? Or you know, without, I don't feel bad in any way that I said, no. You know, we enabled, which we did. We knew full well, but if we can't stop it, you know, we, you know, potentially could stop it, you know, when he's with us. But the moment we're gone, he's going to, you know, so if she's gone to work, I've gone to work, or we've gone here, or he's going to do whatever. He you know, it is what it is. So if we can try and contain this somehow and then
monitor it in a way,
yeah.
I suppose.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the mad thing is being 27, 28 and your mum and dad still having to monitor you is fucking crazy. And I just can't believe I allowed it to happen. But when, you know, you're on drugs, you don't realise, do you?
Yo, you alright? Nah, cold, bro. Not gonna lie, I'm a bit itchy. What you mean? Bro, I've been using that Bic razor, man. I think I've got an ingrowing hair from it. Oh, for fuck's sake. What shall I do?
This is for you and the fans' sake. You need to go cop up a manscape. Comfy to toss like a pancake. Cause now I don't look like a damn ape. I used to be hairy, my family are Greek. But now I am trimmed and my bits are on fleek. Now I get nookie when under the sheets. And the back of my balls don't chafe on my cheeks. I recklessly trim in the dark. The ceramic blades are not sharp. I dangerously shave in the night with the help of my LED lights. I feel like a 1 in a million. Wetting up girls like amphibians. I am not into Brazilians. Thank you, Manscaped, you are brilliant. And that's it, bruv, trust me. Yeah. Like, life-changing. I used to always say I'm a shower, not a grower. But now, thanks to the mower, my ting hangs lower.
Yeah, Cole, what about the ball sweat, man?
What you mean?
What about the sweat, bro?
Sweaty sacks are not deserved, so I'm getting them slapped with crop preserve. And once you're down there checking for bumps, make sure you're checking for lumps. Pebble dash when I trim my mustache, mow the lawn, then I'm gone in a flash. Used to shave, then I show in a rash, but my Bic's gone straight in the trash.
Nice one, Cole. You've really put me on there, bro.
Not a problem, bro. But like I said, for you and the fans' sake, if you want to check out your Manscaped, then hit the discount code. All capital letters, Stay Central. That's all bold writing, yeah? Like my balls. Stay Central. You need to cop up a Manscaped.
You're still quite babies now. I don't mean necessarily. No, not like by mum and dad, but like you would rather have things done, wouldn't you? Do you think that's just because you've gone so long? Do you think you'll grow out of that eventually?
Well, I think I have grown up in a.
No, I just mean like instead of just going and, for example, going to make a drink, you'd be like, oh, go make me a drink. Do you know what I mean? Like little things like that where you've been babied for so long. Do you think that's just where
I fucking had to make the cups of tea all the time? What are you on about?
Did he, Pete?
They were gutted when I went in the house because who was hoovering, who was doing this, and who was making tea.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean, though. You are used to having things done. Do you think that's just where it was in that time frame? You were so focused on one thing that all the little things were just done for you because you weren't thinking about it, and obviously they wanted to look after you.
Yeah.
We didn't want to look after him.
You had to.
We had to.
Yeah, but you did
We
want to.
didn't have to. We didn't have to.
You
did
wanted
we?
to.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Well,
Right.
like, if I had a job, they would pick me up and take me. Same as Bradley as well. Like, he's the same, like, they've always done everything for us. Like, do you know what I mean?
Not good.
No, it's not fucking good. I know.
It's not
like,
good
I
from
know.
our part either, but
Yeah, thanks,
it is
Pete.
what it is.
No, yeah. But yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. But
What
you're still
expecting?
making the TV.
Nightmare. You have come a long way though, even from when I first, I can't remember if I said this on the first podcast, but I wanted to. Even since when I first met you last year, you're still a completely different now to last year. I really do think it's just a massive, just a journey. Like you've said before, like, mental health don't have a graduation day and everything, but I do think you're still like on your road to recovery, trying to find who you are and how you deal with different things.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, of course. I'm, since the start of the podcast, I've got, how I was, my one outlook and my one reason is different to now. And it'll probably be the same in a year's time. But that's just about just evolving in life. And that's the one thing I'm worried about now. And the thing which is, I just think I'm 20 in my head. Like when I got clean, I done 10 years. I got on them when I was 19. When I quit drugs, I was just 19 in my head again, and I'm just trying to mature now. I'm still young in the head. That's what I think.
100%. You missed out on so many years where people are learning responsibility, learning how to fend for themselves.
Just your brain cells growing and like much, just. And it's horrible because I just feel really I get anxiety a lot, which I already had anyway, but now it's even worse with my health and stuff. And if I have a pain in my leg or in my arm or in my head, I'm like, what the fuck is that?
But now you've got loads of things. Like obviously you've described heroin as a blanket before, and that blanket was just yanked off you, and you've gone X amount of time now without it. So you're still probably trying to learn how to cope with different feelings.
Yeah, your natural, what are they called? Not endorphins, are they?
Just everything, I think. Your environment,
just your natural
everything.
painkillers and stuff, innit? Like that look after you, your body in general. No, I never had a headache. I never had a toothache.
Your resilience as well to things, I think.
Yeah.
You didn't have to cope with anything before, but now it's like...
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to cope with everything. Oh. Well, do you know what, Pete? I think you and Sam deserve like the peace and happiness just as much as Cullen does now. Like, do you literally go to bed at night and you're like, like just feel so much better?
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, it's
Always life, Pete.
It's brilliant what you've done and where you are and where you're going. The pair of you, it's to see from where it was, where realistically, was there a hope? We always hoped there was there.
In what?
In you getting clean and in you changing. You might get clean, but then how are you going to be when you're clean? That's the other thing, And like I said, people can't see. I suppose again, drink anything, drugs. If you're stuck in that rut and you're stuck in that way, where you're hanging out, what you're hanging out with. And I wouldn't say you're hanging out with bad people. You're just hanging out with like-minded people. Yeah. It doesn't make them bad. They're all just in that kind of rut. The same places they'll go to until you start coming out of that and seeing there is an actual life outside here, which you have. And it's a lot better than where you are. I mean, how many times do you hear, like, on the last interview, Di said, what am I doing in this place? Literally, what are you doing in there? And he's thinking the same, you're thinking the same. Everyone thinks the same. They don't want to be there. They're there, to get themselves off whatever. And it's just, getting that chance to see the difference, and luckily it was like you said, it was yanked, it was taken away. You really had no say in it at that time. It was sort of, you were really ill and there were no drugs. And on no drugs, there were no drugs and there was no substitute for you. And then it's kind of, as you get that couple of days, you're through, you get clean, and then you start seeing that there is something for you. It's, it's not going to happen overnight. It's
I always say though, like, when I used to say, this fuck all for me, it's nothing for me after drugs, and like it was like, well, life is shit. Life isn't.
Well, that's what people got to realise. In hindsight, everyone can say, "Oh, this is fantastic." That 7 days a week, people work. They have to do their. You have your good parts of the week. You'll have your great parts, but you've got a lot of it is shit. A lot of it is just mundane, whatever it is. But you got to make, you know, make your life what it is around that and with it. And, you know, it's you know, when you think what some people go through and they have no choice. They literally with illnesses and everything else. Imagine how bad they are to what,
Yeah,
you know,
and
people
I
who are
always
abusing themselves and just thinking my life's crap. Well, yeah, but look at other people. Do you know what I mean? They you know, you actually get up and you can go out and do something. So
I always used to say as well, like, what have I got for me? I can't ever work in this. But you said, like, I remember you saying, you know, things will come, like, good things will come. It takes its time, and it has, like, you know, it's not like I got clean and everything. This came, like, you know, it was 6-7 months of, you know, I was in another relationship and I was just finding myself, and like I just didn't know what I was gonna do, and I was you know, I'm big now, but I was even bigger. I was just getting ready. I was just getting right, like, do you know what I mean? And then, you know, I started doing volunteering and, like, yeah, you just take it day by day, but things do come, things do happen, like, and it has happened, like, and, you know, I'm touching wood now that you never know what's round the corner type of thing, but like what I've achieved so far, and it's like there's a blanket on, like, lifted off all the family. I think even Bradley himself, like, he's more of a happy person. Our relationship's better because we used to just be at each other as well. Like, you know, it just seems like there's it's our time.
yeah,
Basically.
yeah. You know, look, you'll get knocks along the way.
Of course.
You're going to get them.
We have.
You know, it's you know, one way or another, and you're going to be like down and whatever. But look, it'll just get better.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so nice. That little envy was really nice. I want to go out on a bit of a lighter note as well. So I'm sure you've probably got millions apiece, but what's one of your funniest memories of Cullen as a kid? I can imagine you're going to be like, I got so many, I can't.
No, I
even
can't.
think.
I couldn't even.
Isn't it?
I don't know what have you got any?
Well, no, it's your memory.
It's your memory.
I just can't remember.
It's hard, isn't it? Like,
I really don't know.
When we do the lives and you talk about like the stories of your kid, they love it.
I know.
I like the little quad bike story if you want to tell
You
that.
weren't there though.
Oh, still a funny story. Bought it for you.
Oh, fucking hell. He used to buy us things, but would never let us go on them. Just didn't make sense. Just because everyone else had a bike or a quad bike or something, but we couldn't go on them.
Probably because you were accident prone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, that's what he used to say. He was just lazy as fuck and couldn't be fucked.
Oh, you just
when you get the bike.
mate, you can't drive a bike now.
I think you got it knocked off. It was just a
I bought
last
a bike
minute
3
thing.
years ago. Right, brand new, cute, beautiful, great. Colin, he nicked it, brought it back, a buckled wheel, all the front was broke, the gears were hanging off. He's got a scab on his, I think, chin and shoulder. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, I went up the curb and hit it.
I've got a push bike. He never goes on it. Well, I'm using your bike. No, you're not. Why? It's sat there doing nothing.
But he takes one more. I get it fixed up. Then he took it the next time, and the chains all snapped and come off.
That's when he fell over with the meat, probably.
No,
this is
this is
Why
a brand
do you
new
buy a bike if you don't use it?
Because it's broke.
Well, I'll use it then. No, you won't. The fuck you on
You
about?
would have sold it, mate.
Do you know last year, I think, whose bike did you use? It was yours or Brad's, and the chain come off it, and that was only last year, and it was propped up for ages.
It's the same
Still
bike. No, there's a few accident prone ones out there. Remember when you was picking me up from Cardiff City working the one time, and it was Leckwith, and it was rammed in cars, and they got the big steep curbs. Remember?
Oh.
I was walking next to you know, I just disappeared.
I think we were up the hospital. I think it was 3 times in a week with you the one time.
They weren't
Do
it?
you remember they took you in the ambulance when you done your elbow again?
Yeah.
And our mum was following behind, and the next thing he's going like, and he's gone, oh, it's better now. But the ambulance have come, taken him, everything, and it's just like, mate, what's going on?
I done my arm, and then I come home, and then I sniffed solvents, and then I went back.
As soon as we got
3
home,
days.
he went upstairs in my mum's house, went down the toilet. Next thing I hear screaming, and there was some,
Jiffy, fucking.
I don't know what it was. It was some cleaning substance or something. He gone and smelt it. It all gone up his nose, and you know when you have those big bug eyes coming out. He stood there sat on the toilet with big bug eyes. We had to go back to the hospital from there. Then you came out, then come home, and then you fell over on the 2 days later on the wooden fence across the road and had all this. It was just like,
No, I'll tell you what was good though. School of Hard Knocks was good, wasn't it?
yeah, it was good.
And I was flat out on the drugs then, innit? And you went on holiday, didn't you? Watching the TV program back was mad because you could tell the week you went on holiday, this is them babysitting again, like making sure I'm in check.
Well, I'd take him up, go every day, whatever, it was okay. And it was good when you watch a program. And then 1 week we were going on holiday. So, did my old man take you?
I think I went with Liam. Yeah, he took
I think my old man might have dropped him or whatever. But that week we were away, if you watch a program for this week, he's on it quite a lot, prominent. And then the next week, I'm looking on the pitch because you see him throwing the ball around. I said, he ain't there. And then it sort of pans across like that.
And it's the commentator.
And it's all
what's his
tackle
name?
bags, and he's lying in the tackle bags.
He goes, what is about... Yeah, and the commentator, what's his name? The rugby one.
I can't.
The big guy.
But
worried about Cullen's sudden mood change.
Yeah. And I said, that's going to be the week we were on holiday. I said, that'll be the week we were on holiday. And it was. You just, I don't know what.
Out on the gear, just
lying on there. And then you had your little walk around with Paul. And he's like, he's an enigma.
He found me out. I was 23 at the time. And
was it that long ago?
I was 23, 2016. I was 23. And he had me sussed. Like Quinal and all them. They didn't realise the extent of me. Like, they knew I took drugs before, but they thought I was clean on this program. Do you know what I mean? But he was like, the Cullen's he's an enigma. He's incredibly charming, incredibly intelligent, but I think he's been using this intelligence and charm for a very long time to like blag people, and like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. Like, he knew I was flat out, and he pulled me to the side, and I got a job from Arriva Trains from that. And I remember when I got sacked, and when he was taking me to drop me off to work, like, and fucking,
and he'd walk off in his uniform.
Did you have any clue?
Well, not at that time. No, why would I? He'd just go in, but then as I drop off and go round, he'd just go like that and divert round to wherever he was going in his
uniform.
In his uniform, all ironed.
They're all looking at me like, you've been sacked. What are you doing here? Like, I remember the station manager was
like, a letter came through then, didn't it? And I'm like, what are you doing, mate? Just what are you doing?
Nah, you was kicking off, mate.
Yeah, but what? You're kicking off more. Kicking off more because you went for 3 weeks. You turned up for 3 weeks, you were sacked.
Spent all your petrol on you, like.
I could have been doing other things.
Nah, but yeah, we're good times. We got a baseball. PD's coaching the baseball team this summer, so we're playing baseball again. So that'll be good.
Are you going to play?
I'm gonna
try.
I'll have a runner. Someone can run for me.
Brucey can run for you.
Brucey can run for me. Yeah. I'll have a try, innit? Like, do you know what I mean? My mum wants me to ref for the women's as well. Fucking hell.
I think we need to start eating healthy and exercising.
Yeah, definitely.
You need to go on a diet. On a row.
Oh, nice.
On a walk, not on a row. Yeah, why don't you two go to the gym together?
What are you trying to say?
Motivate each other.
I think they closed now for COVID. They've shut for COVID.
Okay. So to finish off then, I want you to tell each other one thing that you've never told each other before. Good, bad, could be anything. Just one thing.
Do you need a work uniform? Want to start a clothing brand? Or maybe you have a football kit that needs a logo printed? Well, if I was you, I'd get in touch with the Re-Inspire Printing Company down Treforest Industrial Estate for the finest printing and embroidery in Wales. I use them for my custom-made mankini, but you could use them for t-shirts, hats, hoodies, and many, many other things.
And no, Pete, you can't get out of it.
First.
Cullen by the looks of it.
Go on in.
No. What was the watch you thought I stolen?
Oh, Breitling.
I never stole it.
Oh, whatever.
I never stole your Breitling.
You or one of your mates did.
I never stole your Breitling.
You sold it.
No, I swear to God. I swear down. I never did. Maybe someone I was with in the house, I don't know, but I never did.
Okay.
Go on then. And I
go,
know,
Pete.
I always say it. I love you, Pete. I love you, Dad.
Oh.
That time Bondi kicked the door off in the
B&B.
hotel. Yeah, I did ring him.
Oh, I fucking knew it.
Well, we were going on holiday the next day, so I knew
I
if you were locked
fucking
up,
knew
we
it.
were better off than you running feral. And you were, let's be fair, you were bang out of hand there.
I was like, how the fuck does he know? Like,
Room 6B, St. Hilary Hotel.
yeah.
Cullan's
How
in
the
there.
fuck this? And like Bondi was playing it off as well. Like, I know everything. Like as if he was like this good cop. He just, and that's it. Every off police, the police, none of them didn't. There's no investigators. There's no Columbo or Poirot anymore. Like everything is from
Poirot.
Intel, Grassing, and Intel. There's no good cops out there.
But I had a good holiday.
Yeah, I bet you fucking did. Nah, no,
We were put at rest.
I'll just say, yeah, no, listen, I just want to say thank you for everything you do for me, Dad. You're 10 feet tall to me, and yeah, I don't know if I'd be where I am now if it weren't for you, man.
No problems. Anytime.
Yeah,
But don't go back down that road, please.
I'll try not to.
He won't. I won't let him. So, Pete, the time has come to look down the camera, and if you can send a message just to maybe parents or anyone who has loved ones who've lost an addiction, any message you can send them for some hope.
I don't know, just...
But you got loads to say
Yeah.
normally. Come on.
Yeah, but it's... look, just don't give up. If it wastes your life, then it wastes your life on someone you love or someone you know who's yours. So just as long as they've got someone, then there's a good chance. There's a good chance they can get out of it. So and I'm sure there's places you can go for help and advice yourselves, which is something else that's probably needed. Something for the parents and for the guardians and wherever, just to look after and give them help. But don't give up. There's always a chance, as you can see.
Oh, that was really nice. Carl, is there anything you want to say?
Anything else?
Just go easy on your parents as well. Like, they're, if you have got parents, that is, I know there's a lot who don't, but if you have, like, just try and go easy on them, and just know that they're, they love you and they'll do anything to get you on the right path, But I would say if there is parents watching, then don't feel hesitated to message my mum or dad because they got plenty of advice for you. We'd love to set up something. Love to set up something for parents. I don't think there's enough out there for people, and I know they'd help out on it. But yeah, just hopefully someone takes something out of this, Thank you for watching. Thanks for doing it, Dad.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks, both. Thanks for having me as well.
Yeah, well done. Eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, we
Second
won't go
time
into the
The
beginning.
outtakes.
No, the outtakes.
Oh,
So,
well done.
ruining my outro again.
I got something to tell you as
No.
well.
We're not doing it. We're not going down that road now. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you haven't noticed already, I realise my hair's covering it, but we are rocking the Central Club merch. So if that's something you're interested in, send us a DM.
Give him a little thing on the camera as well. Listen, so these are the hoodies we've got representing the skyline.
Show them the back.
Do I have to? Basically, the skyline on the back as well, as you can see. Get your hoodies, get your t-shirts. Support the cause, not just for the podcast, but for your city. Stay central.
So yeah, if that's something you're interested in, drop us a DM or an email to be put on the pre-order list. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Stay central.
Stay central.
The Central Club.